Today, we're going to talk about one of the most overlooked yet powerful systems in the human body, the gut. Your gut isn't just about digestion. It directly influences your metabolism, energy levels, and even your brain. In fact, the health of your gut can determine how effectively you lose weight, regulate cravings, and sustain long-term health. What's fascinating is that science shows us gut health is not fixed. By making specific evidence-based adjustments through nutrition, lifestyle, and timing, we can reshape the gut microbiome in ways that accelerate fat loss and improve overall well-being. In this session, we'll break down the biology of the gut, the critical role of the microbiome, and the actionable steps you can take starting today to transform your body and health from the inside out. The gut microbiome is one of the most powerful regulators of metabolism and fat storage, and understanding it can completely shift how we think about weight loss. Within the human body, there are trillions of microorganisms, including bacteria, fungi, and viruses, that live primarily in the digestive tract. Collectively, these are referred to as the gut microbiome. While they are microscopic, their influence on the human body is enormous. They communicate with our immune system, our brain, and even our hormones, making them a central player in how the body regulates energy balance and stores fat. Research has revealed that different compositions of gut bacteria can make people respond very differently to the same foods. For example, one person may metabolize carbohydrates quickly and use them efficiently for energy, while another person with a different microbial profile may convert the same carbohydrates into fat storage more readily. This means that weight gain and weight loss are not only about calories in versus calories out, but also about how the gut microbiome processes and directs those calories once they enter the system. One of the most compelling findings in modern science is that the gut microbiome is not fixed. It is dynamic and shaped daily by what we eat, how we sleep, the level of stress we carry, and even the time of day we consume our meals. When the gut is filled with diverse, beneficial bacteria, it promotes a faster metabolism, reduces inflammation, and makes it easier to lose fat. On the other hand, when the gut microbiome is imbalanced, something often referred to as dysbiosis, it can slow down metabolism, increase cravings for processed foods, and push the body towards storing more fat. Studies show that individuals with a less diverse microbiome tend to struggle more with obesity, and this is not simply about willpower, but about biology working against them. The microbiome also influences how well the body extracts energy from food. Some bacteria are more efficient at breaking down complex carbohydrates into short-chain fatty acids, which provide stable energy and support fat burning. Others are more likely to increase blood sugar spikes and fat accumulation. This means that the makeup of the microbiome acts like a metabolic fingerprint, determining whether the body leans toward fat storage or fat burning. Furthermore, the microbiome communicates directly with hormones like insulin, leptin, and ghrelin, which are key regulators of hunger and satiety. When the gut is healthy, these signals are well regulated, and the brain receives accurate messages about when to eat and when to stop. When the gut is unhealthy, these signals become disrupted, leading to overeating, increased cravings, and a harder time losing weight. Beyond metabolism and hormones, inflammation plays a massive role in weight regulation, and the gut is the control center for inflammation in the body. A balanced microbiome creates compounds that reduce systemic inflammation, making it easier for the body to mobilize fat energy. Conversely, an unhealthy gut produces endotoxins that leak into the bloodstream, causing chronic low-grade inflammation. This inflammation not only makes fat loss more difficult, but also increases the risk of metabolic disorders like insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, and fatty liver disease. Thus, the state of the gut microbiome determines not only how easily someone can lose weight, but also how healthy they are in the process. The exciting part is that because the microbiome is so responsive, even small shifts in diet and lifestyle can create profound changes in metabolism and fat storage. A person who begins to feed their gut the right nutrients, such as prebiotic fibers, polyphenols, and probiotic-rich foods, can gradually shift their microbial population toward one that supports weight loss. Over time, this creates a feedback loop in which the gut becomes more efficient, cravings decrease, inflammation lowers, and fat burning accelerates naturally. It is not about extreme diets or unsustainable calorie restriction, but about teaching the gut to work with the body rather than against it. This perspective redefines weight loss as less about willpower and more about biology, and it highlights the gut microbiome as the hidden engine driving metabolism and fat storage in every human body. Fiber and fermented foods reshape gut health in profound ways, acting as the primary fuel and regulators for the microbial ecosystem living inside the digestive tract. The gut microbiome depends on a constant supply of nutrients to survive, and not all foods nourish it equally. Fiber, particularly soluble and prebiotic fibers, serves as the main food source for beneficial bacteria. When these fibers reach the colon, they are fermented by gut microbes into short-chain fatty acids such as butyrate, acetate, and propionate. These compounds are essential for strengthening the intestinal lining, reducing inflammation, and improving insulin sensitivity. By stabilizing blood sugar levels and enhancing the efficiency of nutrient absorption, fiber indirectly helps regulate body weight and fat storage. Without adequate fiber, many beneficial bacteria starve, leaving room for harmful bacteria to dominate, which can result in cravings for processed foods, slower metabolism, and increased fat accumulation. The average modern diet, particularly in industrialized societies, is dramatically low in fiber, often providing less than half the amount recommended for optimal gut health. Processed foods, refined grains, and added sugars strip away the natural fibers that would normally feed gut microbes. This lack of microbial nourishment contributes to an unbalanced microbiome or dysbiosis, which has been linked to obesity, metabolic disorders, and even mood disturbances. By increasing intake of fiber-rich foods such as vegetables, fruits, legumes, nuts, seeds, and whole grains, the gut environment begins to shift toward a more diverse and resilient microbial population. Diversity is key, as a greater variety of microbes enhances the gut's ability to break down different nutrients, produce essential compounds, and regulate energy balance. Fermented foods provide a different but equally important contribution to gut health. Unlike fiber, which feeds existing microbes, fermented foods introduce live beneficial bacteria directly into the digestive system. These probiotics, found in foods like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, miso, and kombucha, increase the abundance of helpful bacteria while competing with harmful ones. Their role goes beyond simply populating the gut temporarily. They also interact with the immune system, strengthen the intestinal barrier, and improve digestion. When combined with fiber, fermented foods create a synergistic effect. Fiber nourishes the microbes, while probiotics expand and diversify the microbial community. Together, they create a stable gut environment that supports healthy metabolism and weight loss. Another important aspect of fiber and fermented foods is their influence on appetite regulation and cravings. When beneficial bacteria ferment fiber, the short-chain fatty acids produced not only support gut health, but also communicate with the brain through the gut-brain axis. These compounds signal satiety hormones such as peptide Y and GLP-1, which help the body feel full and reduce overall calorie intake. A diet rich in fiber naturally leads to better appetite control, fewer cravings for high-calorie processed foods, and a more balanced energy intake throughout the day. Fermented foods further support this process by reducing gut inflammation, which can otherwise disrupt hormonal signaling and lead to overeating. Together, these dietary strategies allow the body to move into a healthier rhythm where hunger cues are accurate and eating behaviors are naturally aligned with weight loss goals. What makes fiber and fermented foods particularly powerful is their accessibility and adaptability. Almost every culture has traditional foods that include naturally high fiber staples and some form of fermentation. Modern nutrition science has simply confirmed what ancient practices already hinted at, that the gut thrives on these foods. For someone seeking to improve gut health and lose weight, integrating small daily changes, such as adding a serving of beans, a handful of seeds, a variety of colorful vegetables, or a spoonful of sauerkraut, can dramatically shift the microbial environment. Unlike extreme diets or restrictive approaches, this method builds health from the inside out, creating conditions in which fat loss happens. As a natural byproduct of improved gut function, Fiber and fermented foods, when consistently consumed, reshape the gut in a way that restores balance, optimizes metabolism, and sustains long-term weight management without requiring harsh interventions. Circadian rhythm and meal timing impact digestion in ways that go far beyond simple calorie intake, because the body is not a machine that processes food the same way at all hours of the day. Every cell in the body follows a biological clock that aligns with the rising and setting of the sun, and this rhythm dictates when the body is primed to digest, absorb, and metabolize nutrients most efficiently. The gut itself has its own circadian rhythm, with microbes fluctuating in activity depending on the time of day. When eating is aligned with this rhythm, digestion is smoother, metabolism is faster, and fat storage is minimized. When eating patterns are out of sync, such as late night snacking or irregular meal times, the gut microbiome becomes disrupted, leading to poor digestion, increased fat storage, and greater risk of metabolic issues. Research shows that eating during the biological daytime, when the body is more active and the metabolism is naturally elevated, leads to better energy utilization compared to consuming the same calories late at night. This is because insulin sensitivity, the ability of the body to process glucose efficiently, follows a circadian rhythm in the morning and early afternoon. Cells are more receptive to insulin, meaning glucose is taken up and used for energy rather than stored as fat. By evening, insulin sensitivity declines, and the same carbohydrate-heavy meal is more likely to spike blood sugar, increase fat storage, and disrupt the gut microbiome's natural cycles. This means that two people could eat the exact same food, but the time of day they eat it would determine whether it is burned as fuel or stored as fat. The gut microbiome itself undergoes daily changes that align with circadian rhythms. Certain bacterial populations become more active during the day, assisting with digestion and nutrient absorption, while others dominate at night to help with repair and detoxification processes. When meal timing is erratic or skewed toward late night eating, these microbial rhythms are thrown off balance, resulting in dysbiosis and inefficient nutrient processing. Over time, this imbalance not only affects weight regulation but also increases inflammation and disrupts the communication between the gut and the brain. Properly timed meals help reinforce these natural microbial shifts, ensuring that digestion and metabolism are synchronized with the body's internal clock. Circadian rhythm also influences digestive secretions such as stomach acid, bile, and enzymes, which peak during daylight hours. Eating large meals at night, when these secretions are naturally lower, places extra strain on the digestive system and often leads to discomfort, bloating, and inefficient breakdown of food. This inefficiency can contribute to weight gain, as partially digested food alters the microbial balance and encourages fat storage. On the other hand, eating the majority of calories earlier in the day takes advantage of optimal digestive function and results in better nutrient utilization, steadier energy, and improved fat loss outcomes. Meal timing is also closely tied to sleep quality, which further impacts gut health and weight management. Late night eating often delays melatonin release and disrupts deep sleep cycles, preventing the body from properly repairing the gut lining and resetting hormonal balance. Poor sleep then feeds back into poor metabolic health, creating a cycle of cravings, sluggish digestion, and weight gain. Aligning food intake with daylight not only supports digestion but also improves sleep, creating a reinforcing loop between gut health, metabolism, and rest. Practical applications of circadian aligned eating include adopting a consistent eating window that falls within daylight hours, often referred to as time-restricted feeding. This approach allows the gut to rest overnight and complete repair processes without interference from food. Even a simple adjustment, such as finishing the last meal 2 to 3 hours before bedtime, can restore circadian alignment and significantly improve digestion. Consistency is crucial because the gut microbiome adapts to regular patterns and thrives when meal timing is predictable. When eating times are stable, the microbial community becomes more balanced, insulin function improves, and fat-burning pathways become more active. Over time, this strategy transforms digestion and weight regulation, proving that when we eat can be just as important as what we eat. Stress and sleep directly alter gut gut-brain signaling, and their effects are far more significant than most people realize when it comes to digestion, metabolism, and weight loss. The gut and the brain are in constant communication through what is known as the gut-brain axis, a bidirectional pathway that uses neural, hormonal, and immune signals to keep the body balanced. When a person experiences chronic stress, the brain signals the release of cortisol and other stress hormones, which immediately influence the gut environment. These hormones can alter the composition of the microbiome, reduce the diversity of beneficial bacteria, and increase the growth of harmful strains. Over time, this imbalance creates inflammation and disrupts the gut barrier, making it more permeable to toxins and leading to a state often referred to as leaky gut. This process not only affects digestion, but also directly impacts the way the body stores and uses energy, creating a predisposition toward weight gain. Stress also alters eating behavior in ways that further damage gut health. Elevated cortisol levels often drive cravings for calorie-dense, sugary, and processed foods, which feed the wrong types of bacteria and further reduce microbial diversity. This creates a cycle where stress leads to poor dietary choices. Those choices weaken the gut, and the weakened gut increases stress signaling back to the brain. The result is a loop of poor gut health, disrupted metabolism, and persistent difficulty in losing weight. Beyond cravings, stress also slows down digestion by shifting the body into a fight or flight mode, diverting energy away from the gut and toward immediate survival functions. When this happens regularly, the digestive system becomes sluggish, leading to bloating, discomfort, and inefficient nutrient absorption, all of which make healthy weight regulation harder to achieve. Sleep plays a parallel and equally important role in shaping gut health and metabolism. The gut microbiome follows its own circadian rhythm, and sleep is a critical signal that regulates microbial activity. During deep sleep, the gut performs essential repair and maintenance processes, including strengthening the intestinal lining and balancing microbial populations. When sleep is inadequate in duration or quality, these processes are cut short, leaving the gut vulnerable to imbalance. Studies show that even a few nights of poor sleep can significantly reduce microbial diversity and increase bacteria linked with obesity and inflammation. This means that someone could be eating all the right foods but still struggle with gut imbalance and weight gain simply because they are not getting enough quality rest. Lack of sleep also disrupts hormones that regulate hunger and satiety, specifically ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin, which stimulates appetite, increases when sleep is inadequate, while leptin, which signals fullness, decreases. This hormonal shift drives overeating and cravings, especially for high-calorie foods, creating an environment that favors weight gain. In combination with the microbiome disturbances caused by poor sleep, this creates a powerful negative synergy that derails weight loss efforts. On the other hand, consistent, high-quality sleep helps regulate these hormones, ensures accurate hunger cues, and maintains microbial balance, making fat loss more natural and sustainable. Another critical factor is how stress and poor sleep interact with inflammation. Both conditions increase systemic inflammation, which directly impairs insulin sensitivity and slows metabolism. An inflamed gut sends distress signals to the brain, perpetuating anxiety and stress responses, which then worsen sleep quality. This interconnected cycle highlights the importance of addressing both stress management and sleep hygiene as part of any strategy to improve gut health for weight loss. Simple practices such as mindfulness, breathwork, or spending time outdoors can reduce stress hormone levels, while consistent sleep schedules, exposure to morning sunlight, and limiting late-night screen time can significantly improve sleep quality. These adjustments may seem small, but they reset the gut-brain axis, allowing the microbiome to thrive, digestion to stabilize, and metabolism to function optimally. What emerges is a clear picture. Stress and sleep are not secondary factors but central drivers of gut health and weight regulation. The gut-brain axis responds powerfully to emotional state and sleep patterns, shaping everything from food cravings to microbial diversity. By prioritizing stress reduction and restorative sleep, it becomes possible to break cycles of poor digestion, reduce inflammation, and Unlock the body's natural ability to burn fat. The combination of a calm mind and a well-rested body creates an environment where the gut can flourish, metabolism can stabilize, and weight loss goals can be achieved with greater ease and sustainability. Consistency builds sustainable weight loss through gut balance because the microbiome thrives on stability and routine. The trillions of bacteria living in the gut operate like an ecosystem, responding to patterns of nourishment, rest, and lifestyle choices. Just as a garden flourishes when cared for regularly with water, sunlight, and soil nutrients, the gut microbiome thrives when it receives a consistent supply of the right foods, habits, and signals. When routines are erratic, meals skipped, diets constantly changing, sleep irregular, or stress unmanaged, the microbial balance is disrupted, creating an unstable environment that favors harmful strains and weakens the body's ability to regulate metabolism effectively. Over time, this imbalance makes it harder to lose weight and much easier to gain it back, which is why so many people struggle with the cycle of dieting and relapse. Consistency in dietary habits is one of the most powerful ways to stabilize the microbiome. When the gut receives a steady intake of fiber, polyphenols, and nutrient-rich whole foods, beneficial microbes multiply and establish dominance. These bacteria create short-chain fatty acids and other compounds that reduce inflammation, regulate blood sugar, and improve satiety signals, all of which directly support fat loss. However, when the diet swings back and forth between healthy foods and heavily processed meals, the microbiome is thrown off balance. Harmful bacteria thrive on sugar, refined grains, and unhealthy fats, and their growth can quickly overwhelm the protective species. This microbial shift not only triggers cravings for more unhealthy foods, but also slows down metabolism, leading to weight gain. By maintaining consistency in food quality and avoiding extreme fluctuations, the gut is trained to stay in a balanced state that continuously supports weight management. Meal timing consistency also plays a vital role in sustaining gut balance. The microbiome follows daily rhythms, with certain species becoming more active during digestion and others dominating during rest and repair. When meals are taken at roughly the same times each day, the gut adapts and functions more efficiently, processing nutrients with greater ease and reducing the likelihood of digestive discomfort. This stability allows the body to metabolize food in alignment with circadian rhythms, supporting energy use during the day and repair processes at night. Irregular eating patterns, however, confuse the microbiome and disrupt these natural cycles, often resulting in bloating, sluggish digestion, and increased fat storage. Consistent meal timing creates a predictable environment for microbes, which in turn stabilizes digestion and enhances long-term fat loss outcomes. Lifestyle consistency beyond diet is equally important for gut balance. Sleep and stress management directly influence microbial populations, and both thrive on routine. Going to bed and waking up at consistent times helps reinforce circadian signals, supporting microbial activity and digestive efficiency. Similarly, engaging in regular practices to manage stress, whether through exercise, mindfulness, or relaxation techniques, keeps cortisol levels stable, preventing stress-related disruptions to the microbiome. Inconsistent sleep schedules or unmanaged stress lead to unpredictable shifts in microbial activity, weakening the gut's ability to regulate metabolism and maintain a healthy weight. When sleep and stress routines are consistent, the gut remains resilient and weight management becomes much more sustainable. Another critical element of consistency is avoiding the temptation of quick fixes. Fad diets, extreme detoxes, or sudden calorie restrictions may produce short-term results, but they often shock the microbiome and reduce microbial diversity. When such diets end, the weakened microbiome struggles to adapt, and weight regain becomes almost inevitable. A consistent, gradual approach allows the gut to adapt and strengthen over time, creating lasting results that are not easily reversed. This is why people who build long-term habits of balanced eating, regular sleep, and steady routines find it easier to maintain their weight loss compared to those who rely on rapid, inconsistent strategies. Consistency reinforces positive feedback loops in the gut-brain connection. When the microbiome is stable, satiety hormones and hunger signals function properly, energy levels remain steady, and cravings are Reduced, these outcomes make it easier to stick with healthy routines, which then further strengthen the microbiome. Over time, this creates an upward spiral of health, where the gut and metabolism continuously support each other. Weight loss achieved through consistency is not just about the number on the scale. It reflects a deeper transformation in how the body and gut work together. Instead of constantly fighting against cravings, fatigue, or metabolic resistance, the body moves into a state of balance where maintaining a healthy weight feels natural rather than forced. Through this lens, weight loss becomes less about drastic interventions and more about building reliable patterns that the gut can depend on. The microbiome is highly adaptive, but it responds best to predictability and long-term nourishment. By prioritizing consistency in food choices, meal timing, sleep, stress management, and overall lifestyle habits, the gut remains balanced, inflammation stays low, and metabolism stays active. Over time, these steady routines compound into sustainable weight loss, creating not only a leaner body but also a healthier and more resilient system that supports well-being for years to come.